Hi, good day. Gerard Bromme here. We are at video 6. Video 5, we had a look at quite an interesting concept called metaphysics and how you base your life upon that. Video 6, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what you think you know, and you think it's correct, but as I said from the beginning, ignorance is the sin of the day. Let's have a look at an example of how little maybe you two know about what you base your life upon. Is it not true that birth is a wonderful thing? It's a wonderful happening. The moment of birth brings together respect, dependency, love, honoring, a feeling of belonging, the feeling of creating and creation. Every year after your birth, you honor that moment of creation. Now, according to what Christians were conditioned from childhood, the God of the Bible they are basing their life upon has given them a guideline of how He created the birth of everything as you know it today. Let's have a look at this birth. The creation story Christians are taught, conditioned, and believe in is revealed in Genesis 1 verses 3 to 2 verses 4. What 95+ % of Christians, and I would say about 95% plus of preachers do not know is that there is another creation story, Christian creation story, that totally contradicts this creation story in Genesis 1 verses 3 to 2 verses 4. This is the creation story found in Genesis 2 verses 5 to 2 verses 23. This is the story of the Garden of Eden. Let me spell out this major contradiction. Firstly, people of the Old Testament had no creation story. That they borrowed from other nations that they came across. The first creation story, creation theory, in Genesis 1 verses 3 to 2 verses 4, derives from the time when the Israelites were in exile in Mesopotamia, 583 BC. This creation theory has been borrowed from the Mesopotamian creation story whereby the god Marduk created the worlds and man. Genesis 2 verses 5 to 2 verses 23, that creation story, well, the Garden of Eden, derives from the time of Solomon, 1000 BC. Secondly, in the first creation story, the earth was covered with water, and later on God divided the water and the heavens. In the second creation story, there was only the dry earth, and that the water filtered through the earth to wet the earth. Thirdly, in the first creation story, man, male and female, were created on the same day, the sixth day. God, by blowing his breath into them, created them. In the second creation story, man is created on the first day. Only man is made, and then the woman got made out of the man. The man is created out of mud, and the woman out of a man's rib. This correction was included to emphasize the female's subordinate position to the male. That's why they did it. Fourthly, in the first creation story, plants are created on the third day. Is it not strange to you that plants are created on the third day when the sun was created on the fourth day? I'm just asking myself how they survived without photosynthesis. I'm not stupid. In the second creation story, plants and animals are created after the human was created. Fifthly, I do wonder, how is it possible that there was light on the first day, according to the first creation story, when the sun, the moon, and stars were only created on the fourth day? Seriously. The guys who wrote these stories should have had their facts straight when it comes to plant growth and sunlight energy. Thus, the order of things. The church elders at the Council of Carthage, 397 after Christ, must have overlooked these flaws when they decided on the colonialization, the put together of the Bible, to coincide with their personal agendas of religious teaching, or should I say religious ruling, control. Making excuses by saying that the first creation story reveals God as the central figure in creation and the second man's central importance in creation are only wordplay and looking for excuses. For me, personally, it is a shame and a disgrace to perceive these creation stories of Genesis as something worthwhile to even read. It is important to listen to the music of what is written, but goodness, such big mistakes are not excusable. No wonder people who have not been conditioned by these truths are seeking for other theories of creation to at least show respect to the ultimate concern. Christianity is based in the belief that Christ is the only mediator. According to the Bible, he says he is the way and the truth, and that to come to the Father, you have to go through him. Strange enough that you will find this same saying over and over and over in some of the Egyptian pharaoh tombs, people who were buried hundreds of years before this Jesus was born. The only difference is that the mediator was a pharaoh and the god figure was Ra, the sun god. So too will you find the similarities between the Christian mediator and many other Middle Eastern mediators. Take one of many, Mitra or Mitra. Mitra actually preceding Christ hundreds of years. Mithras is a Roman name for the Indo-Iranian god Mitra or Mitra, as he was called by the Persians. Mitra is part of the Hindu pantheon, and Mitra is one of the several minor deities under Ahura Mazda in the Zoroastrianism pantheon. Mitra is the god of the airy lights between heaven and earth, but he is also associated with the light of the sun and with contracts and mediation. Mitra is mentioned in the Hindu Vedas, while Mitra is the subject of hymns in the Zoroastrianism Avesta, a text compiled during the Sasanian period, 224 to 640 before Christ, to preserve a much older oral tradition. This mediator was also from virgin birth, had 12 followers, was killed and later resurrected from the dead, did miracles. His birth was the 25th of December, was also mortal, mankind's savior, and was known as the light of the world. Say no more. Man. To make a lot of money out of people, or to manipulate people, or to control people, or to bind people, you make use of three human conditions. They are fear, guilt, and security. Some of the rich companies in the world make use of these three human conditions, of which the church is but one of them. Please do not walk around with your eyes closed. You are not an amoeba. Use your brain. I will say it again. Ignorance is the sin of the day. This is the end of this video. In the next video, we will be looking at a paradigm shift. How to think differently, see differently, and try to understand. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.